going on, everybody? Welcome back. Madden 21, Miami Dolphins Franchise. We just got eliminated from the playoffs, 34-28 to the Kansas City Chiefs. So congratulations to them. I'm pulling for them to win the Super Bowl. Keep it in the AFC. But now our offseason starts. While they compete, we try and rebuild. We got to start by re-signing Brian Flores. 3 years, 6.7. Yeah, that sounds... Give me some time to think about it. And the Super Bowl. The New York Giants take on the Kansas City Chiefs as the Giants beat Green Bay 34-13. That should be a pretty fun matchup. I'm pulling for the Chiefs. I really do hope they win. Let's take a look at the Pro Bowl rosters. It's the first time in a long time any of our players are going to be in it. So let's take a look, see who's going. So Tua ended up making the Pro Bowl for the AFC side. Russell Wilson, Winchell, Lamar Jackson, Teddy Bridgewater, and Harris. Brian Hill ended up making it for us. That's actually really good. He had a good season. It was kind of a down year, but he had a good season. Zeke, Cam Akers, Josh Jacobs, Miles Sanders, Joe Mixon, Juszczyk, and Ricard, Ham, and Kabinda ended up making it. Devontae Adams, Charlie Tweeter, Williams, and Dorsett ended up making it. Obviously, as you guys can see, Devontae would have made it, obviously, but missing basically half the season. You got Gesicki in there. Becton ended up making a left tackle. Davis. Bayless ended up making it for us, so he's the only one on our line, which kind of is understandable. He's the best offensive lineman we got. Brown, Ramchick, Thibodeau, Bosa. Christian's a beast, so good for him. Sweat, Aaron Donald, Myles Garrett, Shaq Lawson made it. Just numerous seasons in a row of absolutely dominating. Leonard, Miles Jack, Micah Parsons, Hill. We ended up making it. Bubba Bolden, Jason Sanders. Emery made it as a punt returner. He is not even... he's never returned a kick for whatever. He's going to the Pro Bowl. He's going to the Pro Bowl. And you guys can see Brian Flores did accept our contract offer, so for the next 3 years, he will still be the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at all the stats for the season. We're going to take a look at the yearly awards. Joe Burrow led the NFL in passing, 46-31. Tua ended up finishing fourth, so he actually had a really good season as well. You see Justin Fields up there. Pass completions, Tua had the most. Passing attempts, right on Randall. Good for him. Passing touchdowns, Joe Burrow again. Ryan Tannehill was up there. Tua right here at 34, and he only had 7 picks. So he actually had a really good season. William Beeman had 20 picks. He had 29 touchdowns, so led the league in passing last year. Still had a really good season, 41-83. Josh Allen, he only had 24 touchdown passes. Completion percent. Let's cycle down to the actual. So I think Tua's led a majority of it. He leads again, 77%. Average yards per game. Joe Burrow, 289. Tua again. Top 5 in most of the categories here. Rushing wise, Zeke ended up leading the league, 1599. Hill finished second. That actually does kind of surprise me. He still finished with 1,400 yards. He probably still led in carries, of course, with Zeke finishing behind, 333 carries. Tua, that's funny. Zeke ended up with the highest. He averaged 6.1 yards a carry. Who was next? Christian McCaffrey was right there, 5.9. Kareem Hunt. Touchdowns. Brian Hill led it with 20. Isaiah Miller, 16. Zeke with 15. Receiving wise, this is going to be the first year that you are not going to see Devontae Parker anywhere close to the top. Michael Gallup led the league in receptions with 95. Dalton Keene, the tight end, with 94. And Dorsett tied with Odell Beckham with 93. Leading the league, Devontae Adams, 1261. Charlie Tweeter had 1253, and Dorsett finished third, 1213. Congratulations to Dorsett. Charlie Tweeter led in touchdowns. Henry Ruggs finished second. A.J. Brown third. Joey Myers had 12. Dorsett led us. He had 10. Gesicki right there with 9. Defensively, Kenneth Murray ended up leading the league in tackles with 162, 20 more than second place, Jayon Brown. Look at us. Look at us. Top 10. 118. Bobby Wagner. Tackles for a loss. Joey Bosa again. 19. Dante Fowler. 17. Aaron Donald had 16. That Castle had 15. I'm not really seeing anybody. Yeah, there's really nobody on our team. I was just doing that little weird thing where it doesn't show it. QB sacks, Myles Garrett with 14.5. Chase Young with 14. Yeah, Khalil Mack up there. Yeah, I think it's kind of... Yeah, because there's no way Jerome Baker led us with 7. I'm pretty sure Shaq had double digits again, so we're going to have to take a look at the actual team page. Owuzie had 7. Miles Jack with 6. Landon Collins had 5. Our guys were kind of slacking in the interception department. Again, I don't think it's showing everything. Kicking wise, Sanders 96%. He missed 1 field goal this year. Maybe finally he's going to win best kicker. Well, Zerline 100%. 96% on 33 attempts. That's pretty damn good. 62 is the long. Harrison Butker had 58 right behind him. Let's take a look at the team stats and see how they did. So you can see the passer rating went up. Passing yards went up. He had 1 more touchdown, 7 less picks. The longest pass went down a little bit, but sacks are pretty much staying in line, 23, 23, 22, and his completion percentage went up as well. But, I mean, 72, 70, that's still nothing to shake your head at. And he's been over 4,000 yards every season. This 2021 season was remarkable. 38 touchdowns, 4,700 yards. Rushing-wise, you can see his carries even more than the year before, and I really did want to limit him. He went down about 100 yards in rushing yards. His average carry went down. He did get 6 more touchdowns. He broke less tackles. He had 1 more fumble. It was just harder. The blocking wasn't as good this year. It was tougher to get going. Receiving-wise, Dorsett went up almost 30 receptions. He finally broke the 1,000-yard. He almost did it back in 2021. He was able to do it in 2023. Average went up. Average yards per game went up. Receiving touchdowns, he tied 21. He came up huge when Devontae went out. Preston, another one that kicked up his level of play when they needed it. 20 more receptions, 200 more yards. His average went up, his average per game went up, and his touchdowns went up. He still only had 5. He's not really a threat inside the red zone, as weird as it is. 6'4", but 5 touchdowns. All of his stats went up. He had a very good season filling in for Devontae. Gesicki, another one. His stats increased. 85 receptions. That went up by 11. Almost 150 yards more, 140 yards more. His average per reception went up. Average yards per game and touchdowns. Obviously he had these 2 back-to-back amazing seasons. 15 touchdowns. But he picked it up too. He was able to step up and fill in when it needed. He made a ton of first downs this year. And of course, Devontae, who missed so much time this season. Unfortunately, it was in a contract year. He went down 30 receptions. Receiving yards, I mean, you can see the numbers. He was on a pace. Still finished with almost 92 yards per game. He finished with 5 touchdowns. So you still put up some numbers, just not the numbers that you're expecting to see when you see Parker's name. You can see London right here, 18 catches, 243 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the limited action he saw. Bowden, 15 catches, 106 yards, and a touchdown. Jeff Albert didn't really do too much this year. He only had 11 catches for 96 yards. It's like basically a game. He didn't really factor too much. We ended up with more tackles than we had last season. We had one less tackle for a loss. We had no sacks, and we only had 3 picks. So we still factored in. We just weren't the dynamic playmaker that we were in 2022. We didn't have a ton of tackles like we did back in 20. We were more in line with our 2021 season. It's kind of one of those, it's up and down. We have one really good season. We have one okay season, one really good season, one okay season. We just need to be a little bit more consistent. That's the biggest thing that we could take away from this. Still amazing. Still really good. But we just need to kick it up. Be a little bit more than just a tackler. I want to be more of a dynamic playmaker going forward. You see Baker, that is the least amount of tackles that he has had in a long, long time. Tackles for a loss went down. His QB sacks did go up. He did blitz a lot more. He still had a pick, which is pretty much in line with his season average. But with the emergence of Dylan Moses, it's and there was times where Moses just absolutely took over the game. So Baker really didn't have a chance. But you can see in the pressure department, he made leaps and bounds. So much better. 7 sacks and 8 tackles for a loss. That is a lot of plays in the backfield for a middle linebacker. Noah, you can see in his first season starting, 77 tackles. He had 2 picks, and he had 10 deflections. Really good season from Noah. Dylan Moses, 74 tackles. That is the least amount that he's had in his career, but he did have 8 tackles for a loss, which doubled the previous. And he had 2 QB sacks. Also a career low, but still, he had a really good season. The defensive line picked up at different points. So overall, a really good season. Super hyped about this pick when we made it back in 2021. You see Byron Jones here. Tackles went up. Tackles for a loss went up. Still no sacks. He's not going to get any. 4 picks, which is in line with what he's been doing. 4 seems to be his average. So he is turning into an absolute stud. When you look at his season back here in 2020, he was getting burned all the time. He wasn't really making any plays. He wasn't an impact player. And now you see just moving on up. Nas ended with 59 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, 3 picks. Xavier, 2 picks. He kind of got burned a little bit this year. Sacks. That is exactly what I wanted to look for. So Shaq Lawson, 16. I figured that it wasn't showing all the stats. He ended up with 16. Christian Wilkins with 9. Baker with 7. And Tyquan Lewis with 7. You had Johnston step in when Shaq went down. He ended up with 5. Davis with 4.5. Seiler with 3.5. And Tyree Johnson had 2.5. Interceptions. Byron led with 4. Nas had 3. Noah and Howard each had 2. And for the yearly awards, you can see the MVP, Joe Burrow. He had a fantastic season. Cincinnati themselves had a fantastic season. Him and Tweeter led in a lot of categories. Randall second, 5-11. I mean, Alex Moran finished 3rd. Fields, Tua finished 10th. He went 15-1. He lost in the playoffs. And he finished 10th. Coach of the Year, Brian Flores. Congratulations to him. Back-to-back seasons as the Coach of the Year. So obviously the Offensive Player of the Year is going to be Joe Burrow. Tua ended up finishing 4th. You had Brian Hill finish 6th. Defensive Player of the Year, Jayon Brown. Congratulations to him. Miles Jack. Anybody from ours? Absolutely not. Okay. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Zamir White. Ronnie Rivers. Emery finished 8th. I mean, he didn't really do too much. When he did play, he was fantastic, but he didn't get a lot of opportunities. Still finished 8th. Defensive Rookie of the Year. I would really like... Hamilton didn't even make the list. Okay. McCreary. So Zach Pickens ended up winning it. 2 Jets made it. Nope, 3 Jets made it. Wow. Good for them. Their defense definitely did step up too. Best QB, obviously, Joe Burrow. Tua finished 3rd. Best running back, Brian Hill. Congratulations. beat out Joe Mixon, Josh Jacobs. Best wide receiver, Charlie Tweeter. Figured that was going to happen. Dorsett finished third. Unfortunately, it was in a season where one guy just absolutely dominated, and that was Tweeter. Offensive line, Ronnie Stanley. Okay, I don't really know how they judge. Offensive line is probably by pancakes or something. But Bayless ended up finishing third. Nobody else is going to make it from our team. Best defensive line, Joey Bosa. Shaq finished sixth. That is real interesting. Best linebacker, Jayon Brown. Darius Leonard. Nobody from our defense. Best defensive back, Marlon Humphrey ended up winning it. Anymore, we finished fourth. Byron finished seventh. Best kicker, I'm not even going to be upset about it. Thomas Hoskins. Congratulations, bud. Jason finished sixth. Sure. And if you guys are interested, in the NFC side, Alex Moran, Offensive Player of the Year. Roquan Smith, Defensive Player of the Year. Sam Howell, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Thibodeau, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Best QB, obviously, Alex Moran. Zeke, Best Running Back. Devontae Adams, Best Wide Receiver. Bakhtiari, Best Offensive Lineman. Aaron Donald, Best Defensive Lineman. I think he's won it every season. Best Linebacker, Raekwon Smith. Best Defensive Back, Awuzie. Best Kicker, Jake Elliott. And you could see there's some big names that retired. Aaron Rodgers, 19 years. Paradis, 10 years. Castro, J.J. Watt, Cam Newton, Devin McCourty, Dustin Hopkins, Nick Folk, Von Miller, Bulaga, Villanueva. He only played for 10 years. DJ Fluker, Linval Joseph, Jamie Collins, Russell Okung, Justin Pugh, Andy Dalton, Marvin Jones, Latavius Murray, Robert Quinn, the ex-Dolphin, Marcus Gilbert, Jared Cook, Pierre Lewis, ex-Dolphin, Harold Williams, Xavier Rhodes, Tyrod Taylor, Patrick Peterson. There's a few, Cordell Patterson. There's a few potential Hall of Famers that just retired. So looking back previously in the season, we knew the players that were coming up to get re-signed. We knew the amount of money, and we knew how important they were to the team. Mr. Holloway has never had an offseason like this. He's been pretty frugal as far as the free agency periods and stuff go. A lot of people just assume that it was to save money for potential reasons like this, but the word came down. He does not want to spend a lot of money. He wants whoever the most important people are going forward that you can build a team around. He wants them re-signed. But he doesn't want overspending. He doesn't want a ridiculous amount of money being thrown around. The face of this team, the structure, the build, the makeup, is about to look very different going into 2024. You can see all the players here that need to get re-signed. You can see some of the money that needs to go. I gently just breezed right past Tua, who was asking for $200 million. Tua is not going to be part of the Miami Dolphins going forward. He is going to be allowed to spread his wings and fly away. At 26 years old, right in the prime of his career, he will no longer be the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. Devontae Parker, for as amazing as he's been, he's 31. He's coming off numerous injuries. The worst season of his career in this franchise, at least. He's been a favorite of a lot of fans, a lot of people. Cherishes his teammate. He will not be a Miami Dolphin going forward. Raekwon Davis, 2 years, $14 million. He wants $7 million a season. He's 27. He'll be 29 by the end of this contract. He will be coming back as a Miami Dolphin. If he takes that contract, and there he is. Need him. As much as I personally like him, and he makes a lot of tackles and stuff, he is 2 straight seasons of him being given the opportunity to step up, and he is only lasting 3-4 games. So Needham will not be here. Noah, he wants 3 years, $13 million. He is in line to be the next starter for us. He had a very good season this year. He is absolutely going to be a member of this team. Exactly off where I was hoping. Congratulations to Noah. Brandon Jones, we have a very crowded safety backfield. He is a good player. He has contributed a lot to special teams. He's kind of the odd man out here. Philip Dorsett just came off the best season of his career. Filled in when Devontae went out. He will be a Miami Dolphin going forward. He doesn't want that much money. I would like to play for a new team next year. Okay. That's fine. We are not going to franchise him. That is a lot of money. So hopefully Dorsett gets what he's looking for. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. Does it put a little change into our plans? Sure, it does. It absolutely does. I was fully expecting him and Preston to be the 2. Drake in the slot. But Dorsett would rather play somewhere else. He got a Super Bowl. He helped immediately. One of my all-time favorite free agent signings. Good luck to Phil Dorsett. Tyquan Lewis, he wants 1 year, $4 million. The fact that he stepped in for Agba when Agba went down and he is played, absolutely willing to give him a contract. I would like to play for a new team. So Tyquan Lewis will also no longer be a Miami Dolphin. Kyle Van Noy, very quiet this season. He's 33. He does only want one year for $1 million. It's just not worth it, honestly. He might be able to still latch on to another team. I highly doubt it, but we're going to go ahead and let him go. Lynn Bowden Jr., he wants 3 years, $10 million. He's only 26. He dropped some of the easiest passes, but we are losing 2 wide receivers. We do need a little bit of depth. I'm going to offer him exactly that. That's that free agent, that's fine. That, out of everybody that told us to go take a hike, he is the one that I care the least about. Austin Jackson, he's not, it's not a mind-blowing thing. It's good for depth if we're able to get somebody a little bit better. Test that free agency. But everybody just wants free agency. Robert Hunt, he can go. He used to be our starter right tackle. He filled in for injuries, but he can go ahead and go. Jakeem Grant, mostly just special teams, kick returner, stuff like that. He's able to walk. Siler, I would like to bring back. He's not the most amazing player, but he filled in very nice for injuries. That's that free agency. Okay. Solomon Kinley, 1 year, 1.7. We're going to be able to get better depth there. Jason Strobridge, we're going to be able to get better depth there. And Kabinda, his blocking left something to be desired. But in the times he's been here, the running game has been really good. Sans the 1 year for Miles, but it has been really good with him. But he's 28. He'll be 30. I think we'll be able to bring in a different fullback. And that brings us to Sanders, 28. He'll be 31. 3 years, 15. Because so many people told us they didn't want to come here, go ahead and re-sign him. Jason Sanders, happy to be back. Devontae, Tua, hope them nothing but the best. And with free agency starting, the crown jewel of this free agent class, Edwards-Helaire, I'm actually really surprised that the Chiefs let him go. I was not expecting that at all. Tyron Smith is available. He's going to be a hot commodity. The Chiefs currently are leading for him. There's Tua. Isaiah Simmons. Wow. Tyler Boyd is available. There's Devontae. J.K. Dobbins. James Bradbury. Henry Ruggs. That might be an option. He's only 25. He wants 3 years, $28 million. We're going to go ahead and offer him a contract. We'll give him more of a signing bonus. We got a lot of money. We could always use depth on the inside. I would like to offer him a contract. He wants 2 years. We're going to make it 3. Up the signing bonus again. So overall, it is a little bit of expenditure as far as the money goes. Obviously, it's nowhere close to what it would be if we would have re-signed everybody. This fills a lot of needs. Henry Ruggs as a wide receiver, Onwenu as a left guard, and Clavon Chason, who surprisingly is a free agent. He's only 25. His block shedding stuff isn't that high, so it's going to be interesting to see if he could beat out Johnson, but depth can never hurt anything. We still have the draft coming up. I feel like he'll fill a need regardless. Those are the 3 that we're going to target right now in free agency. And all 3 of them did accept their contracts. That is absolutely huge for us. That fills a lot of needs. It gives us a little bit of depth and gives us some more flexibility as far as the draft goes. We're not dedicated to just one-on-one replacing people that just left. This really gives us some flexibility here. Let's run through real quick. Take a look at some of the rookies that we have on our draft board. Obviously, with free agency, some things have changed. We now kind of have to focus on quarterback, just in case King isn't really the one to step in. He didn't really look too impressive when he had to play. Granted, he was kind of thrown into some situations, but it's always good to have backup, little contingency plans. Ankrum takes us out of Ankrum, quarterback out of Texas, would be the number 1 quarterback to go for us. He has A+ throw power, A throw on the run, A- break sack, 6 feet, so he's a little bit smaller. You have Zach Schmidt here, 6'3", but as you can see, the combine grade a little bit lower. So we do have some options there. Fullback, just because Kabinda left, we did focus on some fullbacks here that we could take later on in the draft. Wide receiver, mostly it's just to try and find a kick returner, but obviously depth in that regard. We did lose 2 of our biggest guys. We did make 1 back in Ruggs, but you always want to try and backfill. So that's why we kind of targeted some wide receivers. Tight end, just to get a 3rd solid tight end. And then obviously, line. Line is going to be huge as people get older. The interior part of our line is a weakness. These drafts are never really big. Barnett, 1st round grade. So that is definitely somebody that I want to look at. He's a center, but we can move him to either of the guard spots. You can see none of them really have that high of a draft grade. The interior lines in these drafts, they just don't really do too much. And then the tackles are usually the ones that grade out pretty high. So these guys all have 2nd round grades as left tackles. 6'4", 307. Maybe you can move that inside, but he's going to be very, very slow. Although it says he's agile, so maybe Vernon's something we can target too. Left end, just trying to find that little diamond in the rough. Maybe it's Jerry Farley. 6'1", 259 pounds, 7.2 combine grade. I like things like that. Things around 7 is really nice to see. You got Dwayne Carter. He's more of the prototypical end. He's bigger. He's got power moves there. The combine grade's a little bit lower than Farley, so we're going to have to take a look while we're in the draft and see how they kind of graded out. Ely is the one that's really sticking out to me. Ely and Charles, but Ely is the one that's sticking out. Now you can see tackle, hit power are his first 2. That seems more like a linebacker, not really an end. Neither one of these guys, their block shedding isn't up there. So their block shedding might not be that high, but they're going to have a lot of talent. So that'll be really interesting to see. Same thing goes for McMullen. Then you got some defensive tackles, which not really a need, but if they're there, if they're BPA, it's something we can consider. Outside linebacker, because we let Van Noy go. McLean is there. He is who I was grooming to take over. So if none of these guys are better than him, then we'll just go with McLean. This is more luxury picks at this point. Cornerback, I was just looking at guys that were graded out pretty high. These 2 really stood out. And this is when I was grading these guys, you can see 7.8. That's one of the highest that I've ever seen. But these are mostly just for kick returner. So none of them are going high. I'm not drafting any of them relatively high unless their numbers are ridiculous. Like a 4-1-40. Then yeah, welcome to the team. But other than that, that's who we're targeting in the draft. It's a relatively weak draft. Again, especially for the interior of the line. Every draft that we've done has pretty much been weak on the interior, so we're going to have to take a look. I think if Barnett's there, I'd really like to go for him. To me, it's coming down between Barnett and Ely. Those are really the ones that I'm looking for that I would really like to take a chance on in that first round. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the free agency, how it played out. These are the guys that are still available. So Darius Slay never got picked up. Mackenzie Alexander. It's a lot of corners. Trey Flowers, Sheldon Richardson. Some of these guys, Trey Flowers, 6'3", 203, he's not going to be very fast. But some of these guys might be worth, taking a flyer on. Jordan Lewis, Devin Funchess. Happy to not have to see him anymore. Man, is a thorn in our side. AJ Bouye. Andy Isabella might be somebody after the draft that I might get. As a kick returner, he is incredibly fast. All right, so let's see who the league signed. Hilaire ended up going with the Texans. I could see that. He fits their type, so I could definitely see that. That's a good pickup for them. He signed 5 years, $36 million. Tyron Smith. Why? They're Becton. Why did they sign Tyron Smith unless they're planning on moving one of them? They gotta be planning on moving one of them. To Detroit, 6 years, $219 million. So he got a longer deal for more money from Detroit. Congratulations to them. I really hope they take the next step. I really do. That is huge for them. Congratulations. Isaiah Simmons. The Texans are players. The Texans are the ones coming out. So Isaiah Simmons is now a Texan. Tyler Boyd went to the Giants. Devontae Parker is a Cowboy. I don't know how I feel about that. J.K. Dobbins to Philly. Bradbury to Philly. So he just flipped from the Giants to the Eagles. Brandon Cooks to the Texans. Patrick Queen to the Raiders. DeMarcus Lawrence. That seems about what the Broncos would do. Yeah. So they take Jalen Reagor. They let Funchess walk. Uche went to the Raiders, so they're... And Philip Dorsett is still available as well. So that is also an option. Even though we did get Ruggs. Yeah, maybe Dorsett's not really an option anymore. It's unfortunate. City wanted to test that free agency. Nobody brought him in. We're going to have to see. We might bring him back. Shockingly, Pound Jr. is a free agent still. Sorry, bud. And the 2024 NFL Draft is now currently underway. The Philadelphia Eagles have the number 1 pick in the draft, where every team starts on an even playing field, and they try and build toward the future. All right. So the Eagles have the number 1 pick. Interesting to see who they take. They do have a lot of needs. Obviously, it's the number 1 pick, but they were very active in free agency. So that was kind of cool. You see him rebuilding, doing stuff like that. Detroit, obviously... spent a lot of money, but they got their franchise quarterback. Tennessee, Jacksonville. So let's take a look, see who some of these guys take. So the number 1 pick, Jaden McMullen, right end out of Oklahoma, 77 overall. Incredibly high for a rookie. Detroit, are they going to get a wide receiver? Are they going to get a running back? Are they going to get line help? Somebody to help Tua on that offense. Right guard, Frank Moore. He's only a 71. I'm sure he'll start for him, though. I seriously doubt their offensive line is anything good, but they are trying to protect him. Right guard out of LSU. The Tennessee Titans. Carl Bartow, quarterback out of Oregon for the Tennessee Titans. Ryan Tannehill is no longer on the team, so they needed somebody to fill in. 75 overall is not bad for a rookie quarterback. Not mind-blowing, but see if he starts for them. Jacksonville Jaguars. Rashad Harbor, strong safety out of Texas, helping out that defense. They already had a really good defense, so just trying to strengthen it, make it a little bit bigger. The New England Patriots, Dwayne Carter, left end out of Louisville, 74 overall. strengthening that defense as well. They do have a lot of holes. They have a lot of needs that they need filled. So starting with the line, it's a good pick. San Francisco with the 6th pick, Jeff Ankrum, one of the quarterbacks that we were looking at. I'm not surprised. I wasn't expecting him to fall as far down as we're going to be picking. Quarterback out of Texas. He was on our draft board. Jeff Ankrum to San Francisco. Dallas Cowboys, Larry Farrell, cornerback out of Oklahoma State, solidifying that secondary. They gave up a lot of yards. So that's a good pick for them. Denver Broncos, also active in free agency. J.D. Charles, right end out of USF, helping out that line. 75 overall. That's pretty good for a right end. So the Chargers, Gregory Bonner, 76 overall wide receiver from Michigan State. That is a very good pickup for them. Helping out Herbert, getting him some weapons. The Washington football team rounds out the top 10, and they end up taking Eric Stanley, 76 overall cornerback from Texas A&M. That is definitely needed for all the wide receivers in that division. Good pick for Washington. And now we're going to skip ahead to our pick. Let's go ahead and make our pick here. Definitely don't want to simulate. Ooh, that's a 63? All right, so there's Schmidt. He was the other quarterback that we were looking at, and he's still sitting there. He does have first-round talent. Use draft card right here. A+ throwing power. 4th fastest. 3rd broad jump. 3rd in reps. 22, 6'3", out of Stanford. 3rd draft in a row with our first pick. Going quarterback. Good pick. 29th in true value. Drafted him at 30th. 72 overall. He's just standing there like a deer in the headlights. He's terrified. Whatever just happened. Zach Schmidt, 92 throwing power. 77 deep accuracy. 83 medium. 82 short. That is really good. That is really good. His break sack is low. Under pressure is low. 82 speed. And you're the 4th fastest quarterback? 62 carries, so he's going to have the same fumbling problem as Tua. It's not going to be trucking anybody. His injury is high, which is nice. Injury and stamina, both high. I am real excited for this pick. Welcome to the team, Zach. Vernon. 40-yard dash, he was the fastest right tackle. 20-yard shuttle, he was... We need line help. Late 2nd rounder. We need line help. Earl Vernon, 55 in true value. Drafted him at 62. Another one looks terrified staring at the camera. And he's from Florida State. Gross. 69 overall. 84 strength. 66 run block. So he's a pass blocker. Which isn't bad. It's not bad at all. 80 impact block is nice. 78 acceleration. His agility is kind of low at 70. 74 speed is decent. 95 stamina, so he'll stick in there. All right, hopefully we can build him up a little bit. Hopefully we can build him up. Late 1st round talent. Big flyer on him. 28th in true value. Draft him at 94. And he's flexing. 5'11", 186. He was all the way down on our draft board. 94 speed, 94 acceleration. 74 catch is pretty low. We can use him as a kick returner for the time being, though. He just filled in for Dorsett right there. His route running is not the greatest. His deep route's pretty good. Spec catch, 78. 88 agility. 91 change of direction. Obviously, he's not trucking anybody. His break tackle's low. Injury is high. Here's Simon. Welcome to the team. All right, so fullback is one of the positions that we absolutely needed. Michael Charles out of San Diego State. 102 out of 126. A flexor and 67 overall. It's lower than Kabinda. Impact blocking is a lot lower than Kabinda. Lead block is 90. Run block 61. He is quick. Ugh. It's so hard finding blocking fullbacks, but hopefully he could fill in nicely. We're going to go ahead and take Matthew Colbert, right outside linebacker out of Troy. Even if he doesn't take over from McLean, it'll be solid depth. He'll play special teams. Let's see what he does. 145 out of 158. So every single one of our picks so far has been good. He's only 66 overall. 76 tackles, 70 hit power, 86 speed, 90 acceleration, so he's quick. No block shedding. His pursuit's low. Low awareness. Coverage, not great. What was his block shedding? 68. Yeah. None of these really matter. So our 6th round pick, we're going to go ahead and take Dwan Thompson. Undrafted. Yeah, we're in the 6th round. I mean, his combine report looks pretty good, so 230th. Yeah, all right. It was a reach. 63 overall. It's probably not going to play too much. 86 strength. I mean, his blocking isn't awful. Low 70s. That's okay. 67 speed. 72 agility. Yeah. All right. All right. And the pick that really doesn't matter, none of this is good. 6'7", 320, 24 out of Indiana. Yeah. Let's go ahead and pick him. 381 out of 222. 58 overall. Yeah. He ain't gonna make the team. So going through the draft, I think it was a pretty solid draft. It wasn't the sexiest thing we've ever done. We've had drafts where I felt real good after the draft that we hit like these amazing players. I think we got something special here in Pierre Simon, to be honest. And he was kind of just like going through, stumbled across him and got him. I think he might be something special. I'm really hoping Zach Schmidt. I'm pulling for him. I really want him to take that starting job and run with it. Carl Vernon, we're going to see if he's going to be able to bounce inside. He is bigger. He's not that agile, so we'll see if that works out. We got a fullback to replace Kabinda. Holbert, we'll see. I don't think he's gonna take over for McLean. I don't think we're gonna be able to drop him down to the line. So good depth mostly throughout this draft. We filled some needs. I think free agency we hit it out of the park. I think we got some really good players. We didn't spend that much money overall. We lost 20 million cap space. A little bit more. We started with 97 down to 73. So overall, obviously, the team going forward is going to look vastly different. New starting quarterback, new wide receivers. This is going to be a very different team. Most of our defense is going to be the same. So, you know, the defense hopefully is going to be able to keep us in if the offense has some growing pains. Brian Hill is coming back. Emery's coming back. We're still going to have Preston. We still got Drake London, who's taking giant steps forward. It's going to be a new guy delivering the ball. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are looking forward to the next season. I know I am. I'm not expecting this team to carry forward the locomotive that's barreling down everything and taking people out. And I think there's going to be a little bit of struggles. I think it's going to be tough, but I'm looking forward to it. See how this team evolves and goes. If you guys are enjoying, please like and subscribe. And until the next one, until our first game, until we get to see what Zach Schmidt can do under center, see ya.